All right, today in machining, we're gonna go over how to change an insert. It's one of the most common problems that I have in my shop. Now, the most common mistakes for changing an insert is one, there could be metal chips lodged inside this hole. Two, people use the wrong Torx size. They go too small and therefore stripping out the screw. And three, they go in with a stripped tool. So this is wore out on the end. Therefore, when it goes in, it strips the screw. Now there are several types of torque bits. This comes in a set, and you can use a ratchet, or there's a straight handle like a screwdriver. It's got to have the 1/4-inch receiver on it. This is good for getting into tight spots and loosening, really tight inserts. There's the flag style. To me, this is the best for tightening because it's really hard to over tighten. Not the best for loosening. If someone gets it in there tight, it makes it a little more difficult. They got this kind here. It's easy to keep up with, hard to loosen. I mean, it's easy to break these when you're trying to loosen something. Just the strength that you have in this is not great. And they also have, Allen styles with Torx on them. Like I said, some of those are good for loosening, but not good for tightening. Easy to over tighten, but so you just want to watch how much force you put on there. So the first thing you want to do is blow out this little hole with your air gun. The second thing you want to do is start big and go small if you're not sure about what size this is. These are typically a T7, what I got here. So, you can start with a T8, see that it ain't gonna fit. And then you can go to a T7, see that it is gonna fit. Now this one's you heard that pop, it's really tight. And this got it out, but it's a little too tight. So anyways, you want to blow it out, make sure your Torx is in good shape, and make sure that you have the right size above all. Let's say you come to a insert you're going to change and your T7 is stripped. It's not working. So in this case, I'll go up to a T8, and I always keep extra of these because this is going to be not any good after we do this. I line it up with the basic shape. I hit it with a hammer and beat it in there until it's lodged in there. Then I grab this, simply loosen it. You can get these at Walmart, Amazon, all these things you can get on Amazon, Walmart. Bondis is the top brand in my opinion. The thing I want to talk about is if you got to get the right angle. You got to keep it straight and lined up with the hole. If there's another tool here in your way and you're having to come up at an angle, that's no good. That's not going to work. In that case, you want to have something like this on hand, or maybe even this, but you don't want to have anything in your way from here to here. So that way you can keep it straight. Now I want to talk about Allen's. The gold Bondis is the, hardest to break. But one of the biggest problems we have is over tightening of this set screw here, this clamp. This one, not so much, but this one, it really, when you go to tighten it, you can use your pinky. You don't need to put full force on it, or no one's going to be able to get it out. But we'll go over, if you have one that's stuck here in a second, so you can get it out. All right, so you've loosened this one, and you're trying to loosen this one, but it's just really tight. You can actually go from the back. It's the same. So what you want to do is you grab 2 of the same Allen wrenches. Even then, sometimes it's really hard. So what I like to do is kind of give it a shock, kind of jerk it like that. And once you got it loose, there's a couple things that can go wrong here. You might want to check under here, clean out all the chips around here. But when you're replacing it, with a good edge, you want to make sure you do it the same way every time. So you want to make sure it's fully pressed down. And then what I like to do is, as I'm tightening it, I kind of rock it back and forth, make sure it's centered, as I'm tightening it. Some people might push it this way or might push it that way, but if each person does it a little differently, it can change your dimensions by 10 thousandths when you stick it back in there. So until you get really good at it, you might want to back your tool off when you go to run after an insert change. Especially if it's a finished tool and you got a tight tolerance. Back it off and then kind of walk it back in. back it off, check your part, walk it back in.